5:30 a.m. We have been out here since 4 and we were shooting some nightscapes for the past hour, and it's the blue hour. I'm taking a bit of a break, just getting ready to start shooting Seascapes. So we are in Dingalan Aurora. If you're not familiar, this is northeast of Manila and one of the many edges of the Philippines. So we are basically dipping our feet in the Pacific Ocean today. And this is basically where I was born as a landscape photographer. I have been so excited about this trip because I haven't been here in at least 7 years. So today I'm here, really getting a bit nervous. I haven't done this in a while. The pandemic has kept me from doing this. But this is really one of my most favorite kinds of landscape photography. I'm going to squeeze in a bit of tutorials just so if you want to try this out yourself. So one huge part of being successful in doing this is to actually be early. Much like anything in landscape photography, or anything in photography in general, luckily we had a really good time shooting nightscapes tonight, or last night, or a few hours ago. And the sky was really clear. And this spot is perhaps the most perfect spot for any beginning landscape photographer, because you get a good patch of night sky. You're literally on the edge of the country, the island, and there are some really beautiful sea stacks out here, and the sun is gonna rise over there and you can already see the glow of the sun there. And it's perfect because you get to practice your exposure, you get to practice your composition, you get to practice your night shooting, you get to practice using filters. And I don't even know why I'm talking right now because this is my perfect favorite thing to be doing. So I did not come here alone, by the way. I have a really famous guy right here beside me. So Jeremy Sandel is right here beside me. And he is just shocked because I just started talking. But yeah, so the sun is right about to set. Before I start shooting, let me tell you my game plan. My game plan is panic the entire time. So I'm going to start shooting with just a GND because I can still slow down the exposure at this point. And I just really want to balance out this kind of foreground right now, which are really far out. So I'm not even trying to compose right now. I'm just feeling out the exposure. I do tend to panic in shoots like these. So this is definitely a more relaxed state of me while shooting Seascapes. I'm not even sure if I'm really in frame. It's really turning out to be a really beautiful morning. So I am, whoa, here we go. That's more like it. I am shooting with the Sony A7RIII on a 1635 on a Manfrotto MT055CXPro4 carbon fiber, and of course shooting with the H&Y K-series filters. So it's still really a bit dim. The sky is bright, but the foreground is dim, so I'm still doing around 20-30 second long exposures. later on, when the sun really pops up above the horizon, it's going to be much brighter, and I'm going to be able to do 4-second exposures, and I'm probably gonna need a 3-stop ND filter. So that's what I have planned. So crucial things in doing shots like these: sturdy tripod, something that would also withstand the salt water, good filters, of course, especially those that don't smudge real easy. I mean, I literally dropped the GND earlier, and it took one wipe to take everything out, because that's gonna cause a terrible flare if you don't remove the smudge. So take a look at this shot. And when the sun comes out and casts more direct light on the water and on the rocks, the light is going to be drastically different. That's one of the important things, because you have to keep your eyes peeled for any changes in lighting, especially in shooting scenes like these that are really quickly changing. There, the sun is out, so shifting to f22. So the light is getting more intense. I'm gonna switch to a 6-stop. Take out the drop-in filter, drop in the replacement, and you're good. That's why. So having been back here after 7 years, what I can definitely say is that the taste that I have for shooting things like these has really changed. I would usually just abuse the foreground with a wide-angle lens, but now I'm choosing to zoom in and just get a bit closer to the details, and also isolate some patterns. Not the usual ultra dynamic compositions that we used to do back then. So right before, not gonna call it a day, call it a morning, I am just shooting these rocks in front of me, and they are being hit by really strong waves, just like that one. And so I'm shooting with a 6-stop ND with a balancer GND, which is basically a soft 1.2, shooting at f11 ISO 200, 2 seconds, just to get that spray. So actually the trickiest part of this shoot is that I'm shooting almost facing the sun, and earlier I was entirely facing the sun. And that's going to be a huge challenge in terms of dynamic range. And it's pretty clear above the horizon, so there are no clouds to turn warm, and also no clouds to diffuse the light. So it's not even a generic thing when you're shooting seascapes, because you have to factor all of those in. And the difference is really so much in terms of what you're shooting, what you're going to be able to shoot, and generally all the challenges that you are going to have to face whenever you're shooting. That's going to affect your composition, that's going to affect your use of the filters. But if we are going to generalize for shoots like these, we want to be able to do at least around 2 seconds of exposure. You can stretch that out a bit. So you're gonna need either an ND8 or an ND16. Maybe even an ND64, which is what I'm using right now because the sun is already high up. Plus a good GND. And it depends on you if you want to use a telephoto lens, if you want to use a wide lens or a standard zoom. Because ultimately, there are so many compositions to explore when shooting stuff like these. So I hope whatever I said while shooting has been making sense. And if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. If you're watching this far into the video, you probably already know that I shoot landscape photography. So if you're into that, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And yeah, my name is Nicco Valenzuela. I am shooting right now at Dingalan Aurora. And thank you for watching.